Hey there, chefs. I'm your host, Sully, and welcome to this episode of Sully's Kitchen. Let's get cooking.
Welcome to Sully's Kitchen, where the food is sometimes good. Starring Sully.
You're probably thinking, what is this skinny little chef from Ratatouille going to teach me about food? Well, let me give you a scenario. Let's say you have a potluck tomorrow and you're trying to show off to your coworkers, or tonight you have a party and you want to bring something, or even more important, you have a date coming up tonight and you want to impress your date, but you don't want to waste your whole evening working on some 4-star recipe dish you found online that you're not sure if it's going to work or not. I have a low maintenance, easy, impressive recipe for you. These are cheesecake bites. And for the 0.1% of you that are saying, oh, but Sully, I can't make those. My date is gluten intolerant. There's no wheat in this recipe. My date is lactose intolerant. There's no dairy in this recipe. Sully, my date is vegan. Bummer. I'm just kidding. There are no animal products in this recipe. There's no eggs, meat, milk. So you could... Did I just specify meat? I mean, it's true. Vegetarians, dig in. This one's for you. This is a meat-free cheesecake. Anyway, for those of you without any dietary restrictions, this is not some sort of compromise. I'm not just trying to recreate a cheesecake using sad ingredients. This is its own sort of dessert, its own entity. It's more like a sticky nut puree date tart. That doesn't sound too appealing though, so we're just gonna say cheesecake tart. So please come along with me on this cheesecake tart journey. We're going to go through each step of making it. We'll make it together. We're going to eat it at the end. We'll see how it is. And let's just get right into it. Let's start prepping the filling. Sully, how do we get a nice creamy filling without using any dairy products? Well, when in doubt, nuts come out. We're using cashews for this recipe. A lot of similar recipes will want you to soak cashews overnight so they're nice and soft and you can blend them into this creamy paste. But it's too late for us. Our date's tonight. We don't have time for that. So we're just going to quick soak these cashews. So that's just going to be measuring out how many cashews we need and putting them in a bowl. In this case, we just need 2 cups. So I'm going to roughly measure those out. Don't want to lose any nuts here. And then we're just going to pour some hot water over this and just submerge them. This is very hot water, by the way. Oh, measured it perfectly. And then we're just going to let those sit for like 15 minutes or so. I'm just going to place them behind me while we make the crust. This crust is super easy. It's just a cup of dates and a cup of walnuts blended together. I know dates can be kind of expensive or hard to find these days. I'm talking about the fruit, by the way. So you can use dried figs, dried prunes, dried raisins even, or dried grapes, I'm talking about raisins, okay? So for those dried fruits, you can just put them in a bowl, cover them with really hot water, like the cashews back here, and just let them sit for like 2 minutes. You want to reconstitute them and get them to this nice, ripe, sticky, juice plump. That was a lot of gross adjectives, I'm sorry. You just want them at this consistency. Then measure out 1 cup of them, and you're gonna put them in your blender or food processor. Here we go. Lost one. Okay. Next, we just want a cup of our walnuts. You can use any sort of mild nut here. Pecans would be good here. Cashews would even be good if you have some sort of cashew farm or cashew surplus. I'm not gonna judge you for your cashew quantities. And Sully, pro tip, if you wanna heighten your crust game, if you wanna elevate the flavor experience, 2 cranks of salt and just a spank of vanilla. There we go. Oh, that was a lot. That's a big spank. Okay. So we got our fruit, nut, 2 cranks and a spank. We're gonna blend it and get a nice crust, maybe scrape it down halfway through, and we'll check on the consistency once that's done. This is the consistency we want. We want this really easy, hackable material. we're going to put this right into a muffin tin, into each one of the slots, and eventually we'll put the filling right on top of that. Alright, so I got our muffin tin here, and I sprayed it a little bit so it is non-stick. We're going to just pack our crust into each one of these little slots and put it in the freezer. Okay, so all the crust is in here, somewhat evenly distributed, not really. But I'm just going to pack these down here with my fingers, and we'll throw this right in the freezer while we start our filling. For the filling, we're just going to use lemon juice, maple syrup. You could also use honey if your diet allows, or agave nectar, coconut milk, and these cashews that have been soaking. So we're going to add equal amounts of maple syrup and lemon juice here. 2 tablespoons each. So, 1 and 2. Next, maple syrup. Wow, you know what? Bonus points if you don't even have real maple syrup. This is just generic fake syrup. This isn't even name brand fake syrup. You know, side note, Sully's Kitchen, it's not some idealized BuzzFeed gif where they're gonna ask you to pull out your Tahitian vanilla bean out of the cupboard and use your saffron threads that you have. Like, this is real life here. This is generic fake syrup. Okay, so next, coconut milk. We need about half a cup, but this isn't baking. We don't have to be super precise. Half a cup is like a third of this, so I'm just gonna gloop in like, it's about a third of that. And next, we're going to use the cashews. So my cashews have been soaking for about 15 minutes because I'm slow. But if you're really quick and they've only been going about 10 minutes, now's a great time to prep some fillings to put on top of the cheesecake, so clean up a little bit. These look pretty good. Yeah, they're pretty soft. So I'm gonna drain these and put the cashews right in here. Now we can just incrementally add in the cashews so we don't overwhelm the machine. So we'll start with like a third of the cashews. Now this looks really good. This will go right on top of the crust that's in the freezer. I'll go grab that now. I transferred our filling into a red bowl and I took the crust out and it firmed up a bit. So we're just gonna plop and drop some dollops right here into these little compartments. And then we can add some toppings. No, I'm gonna use a spoon. Alright, I think these look good. I'm not gonna pick favorites, but that one's my favorite. Now we can add some toppings. So you can be wild here, you can do some fruit. I got some chocolate syrup here, so we can just drizzle a little over these guys. Let's see. Pretzels would be great here. I found some like caramel corn. Let's try that on a couple of them. Let's see what else would be good. I mean, I was just in the pantry. Don't have much. I found some Fritos. I'm just gonna be wild and try this. You know, you can do whatever you want. The kitchen is your oyster, okay? I'm just gonna leave these plain, so there's something to eat if these all fail. Now we're just going to throw these in the freezer. Now that your cheesecake bites are in the freezer, they're essentially done. We just gotta wait for them to firm up, maybe 2 to 3 hours. That'll give us time to go out to dinner or prep for the party. We don't need to check on them or do any maintenance to them. They'll be finished. I'm gonna take these out in a couple hours and we're gonna try to pop them out of the slots, see if they're easy, if they look impressive, if they taste good, and we'll see if they're worth it. The cheesecake tarts have been freezing for a couple of hours, so I'm just gonna take them out now and we'll see how they look. Let's see here. Okay, so they came out pretty nice actually. Just put a fork or a spoon or something in here. Just pop them out. So these look pretty nice. About half and half with the nice sweet date crust and the cashew filling. A little chocolate drizzle on top. We're gonna try it. It's really nice. These are really good. I'd like to just sit here and keep eating these, but I guess I better close this out. I highly recommend these again. Super low maintenance, super easy. Like 15 minutes of active time. Throw it in the freezer, don't even worry about it. Pull it out for a potluck, for a party, or I hope you make this an impressive date tonight. Thanks for stopping by Sully's Kitchen.